welcome, gentlemen, and the little tiny guy, and Rebecca, on a Sunday developers meeting. So, as I've already said, 8 weeks to go to the alpha, and we want to check in where we are at certain workplaces. And we were just talking about the training material, and I want to start with that one because the relevant people are here right now. So the idea is now that Brad and me are running it on several machines to create, let's say, 1 or 2 million images within the next 4 weeks. I think that's possible if I do 100,000 in 4 days. So that scales up. And then we will give that material to Yannick so that he can crop it, and then he can give that material to Nicola that he can process it with his unsupervised learning model. Then we should end up with images where there is real birds, planes, and stuff in it, and we only get signal images, I want to say. So that's the idea. And then Yannick and Nicola, you can train other models on the image recognition on that material then. May I talk shortly about the simple tracker in the form it is right now? I watched that software running for the last 4 days, and I watched what it does and what it does not. So what comes to my mind is that it does not react on fast-moving objects. So it doesn't even reckon them as such. For example, I see a lot of birds flying around, and those are tracks that are connected because they fly in a close proximity around. But if something crosses the sky very quickly, let's say a bird in 100 meters distance or so, then this track is not reckoned as such. And this is something we have to find out where it is, what the problem is there.
Maybe it's because the rate at which we compare frames. I mean, if 2 frames are too far apart on temporal dimension,
Yeah.
then maybe
It's certainly something like a parameter for the distance, but normally what it does in that case is that the track breaks and a new track starts because the object itself is reckoned. But if the object itself is not reckoned, then I question that approach, because I've seen objects crossing the sky, I'd say in 20 frames. The object is very easily seen. It's a big bird. And the tracker does not reckon it. But it does reckon much smaller objects that fly together in smaller areas. So maybe either he kicks the recognition in the moment where this time distance does not fit. We have to find out. This is one thing that I thought is to be changed.
I also remember from the previous meetings from YouTube before I joined, someone showed example where a spider came to the lens and he was covering most of the sensor, and motion detection only caught the edges or spider legs also at some random intervals. I don't know. Maybe there is some logic which looks for the size of the bound box, and if the bound box is too large, it just dismisses it.
Yeah. True. Something
Oh,
like
hey,
this.
Boyan, we're picking up your mic. Did you? Is Boyan there?
Okay, here.
Hey, I saw an interesting picture just a few minutes ago. That episode that somebody posted on the DMZ from Kevin Nuth, the five observables. There was a picture in there that he showed of a seagull that was bringing its wings around to the front like this before it actually went like this. And by doing that, it actually created a round circle.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. And so it actually gave you the impression that it was a UAP.
Yeah.
This is why I propose to use sequence-based neural networks for classification, because then this network will have in its experience recent history, like recent few frames, and it can see entire motion of the bird, and it can learn the frequency of the wing flaps.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
same goes for the beacon lights and strobe lights on planes during the night. Same algorithm solves the both things.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and also another point that I found is that if, let's say, a bigger object flies too close to the sensor, then it reckons this object not as one object, but let's say as up to 7. I saw 7 objects flying together across the screen. And this is a kind of a grouping issue or blobbing issue where the software is more or less tuned to smaller objects and does not create bigger blobs of objects. Something like this. So what I want to say is there's tons of parameters in the simple tracker and we have to adjust that so that it, yeah. What I did, Brad, and I ask you whether you can do the same. I collect several videos that point out such topics. For example, the fast moving object topics. So if you find some videos where you have reference events taking place for you for the problem of not detecting it, for example, we should collect those videos so that we can then tweak the simple tracker towards recognition of those events. So I'm collecting those materials. I think it's good that we have, let's say, a couple of them to test against.
Okay, will do.
All right. So when we do, for example, the next 4 weeks, Nicholas, a question to you. If we do the next 4 weeks processing the video material, I think Yannick will take a couple of days to crop the images. Yeah, it depends how much they are, but I think they're small anyways. It's just images. How long do you think you need for the process for unsupervised learning to create this, to get rid
be
of
honest,
the non?
I didn't run this algorithm on such a massive scale. A record was, I think, 60K of images, and for that, for good results for 60K, it was overnight run
Okay.
on my PC.
Okay.
So
So in worst case, it runs a couple of days.
yeah. And then maybe few hours of me looking into the clusters and doing something. I don't know, but yeah, a few days of number crunching and let's say a day of handwork
Okay.
to separate it into folder via script.
Okay. So a week process time, let's say.
Mm,
Just an idea. Okay. Shall we give you material, or shall we wait until 4 weeks are done and we have all collected? Do you want to have a
you should zip.
Pardon me.
Yeah, zip the first 100K just
Okay.
just to have something.
Okay. So, Brad, I'd say I do 4-day packages and deliver. Will that work for
Okay.
you? Kind of. So that's about 100,000 per computer. So if you start more at the same time, you create more.
Yeah, and I'm kind of breaking mine up different because my NAS stores them by AM and PM per day, so my catalogs are going to be basically organized like that. So
Okay.
they'll be smaller chunks, so I can
Yeah, no matter.
together and send them off. If you want to pick a day, you can, but
So let's say we make 100,000 image packages, kind of.
okay, and then just send that off.
So it makes sense to you, Nicola, if we deliver to you as soon as we have those 100,000 picture packages, and not
Yep.
wait until 4 weeks until.
Yeah, because it was even worth the first 10K that we had like on Drive. That was also useful for me to create a data pipeline and to see if there are some bottlenecks. But I made a processing pipeline, but now with the 100K, I will actually see the performance of the pipeline, because right now these images were 32 by 32 and they were like 200 megabytes of RAM. It's nothing. But when we have a large amount of data, I can actually maybe even improve the data pipeline, maybe spot some bugs. I don't know.
I see. Whether you find a limit with 100,000 images, for example.
Yeah, and I would actually see the RAM usage more better.
Yeah.
And spike would be more noticeable, so
Okay,
I can
it's
see if
better
there
to
is a
spread the
problem or
load.
not.
Yeah, good point. All right. Yeah, we haven't heard from Mike back yet. Brett, did we? I, my
Mike
question,
G.
Mike G. Yeah. My question is, who shall work on the simple tracker adjustments? If it's not Mike, who can take that part?
Not me.
Not me either. I mean, I can tweak parameters and try. Okay,
I don't know.
we have to think about that. Maybe Mike comes back for a couple of weekends or so. Let's see. All right. So having Christian here, sorry to interrupt you while eating.
No problem.
Can you give us a short rundown of where you and Ido and Nicola, you're working with them, as I assume, where you stand right now with the
Yes. With IDO, I discussed on if we shall go for the WebSocket or have a ROS2 solution or whatever we are going to. And we talked about what data format we might use. And therefore, I talked to a friend of mine. She said, okay, if we can manage to get the images into JSON 2, then we should go for a JSON document.
You mean JSON, or what is JSON?
Yeah,
JSON.
JSON
Okay.
document. And yeah, we're not, we didn't take it very further. We didn't go further with that because first I have to write the development guide, because we noticed that that we drifted apart a little bit, and we should have this development guide so everybody can look it up and see, okay, and stay much better on track. And this is where we are standing at the moment.
Okay. So we were talking today a little bit about the what the master control program is actually doing on the Pi. So your work there on the Pi is several places. You have one thing is the image processing, so to acquire the image from the camera, get it into the Pi, so and to deliver it on a WebSocket.
Yes.
So that's
And
the one. Yeah.
This is one part. If we have that part, we can run the simple tracker on the material that let's say, okay, we say the WebSocket is some kind of buffer to make it very easy. And if we have images on the buffer, then the simple tracker can start. And after that, we need something that the simple tracker can answer to, and this would be the master control program. And we talked about that in our member meeting where we stand there, and I gave it a thought. I think we will alter the task master control program should do it. I think the event handling has to be much more defined, and I'm going to do that in the development guide. But I have to think about how and where the data comes in and how this data can be matched. If we need some kind of time series and time tracking and time indexing, because if an image comes in, it has a timestamp, and getting other information with the same timestamp that is just a feed like that, we can't match it very easily. And I have to think about how we can do that.
At some point, I had the idea like universal subscriber to all data sources, and he will merge all the produced data and timestamp it, and all goes to the Neo, and then we can query it like give me surrounding data surrounding this frame, and then we fetch SDR and everything.
Yeah, I was thinking in the direction of something like queue messaging, but we have to see how the performance will go on the Nano and on the Pi, and I'm not sure where we are heading. I have to look much further into the ROS2 part and compare it with what Websocket can do, and I just put everything on the table I knew now, and I think I have to write first the development guide, and to finish it to a certain point, then I'm going to look for that, what messaging system we might use, or if things could be run with a real-time flag system that ROS2 is offering. I'm not sure about it yet.
Okay.
We have several options, and they have their advantages and disadvantages, and real-time is a very, very hard business.
Even over Ethernet.
Yes, because Ethernet itself isn't real-time.
But it's real-time enough for our use case. I mean,
Yes,
19 frames.
that's the point.
Yeah, 19 frames. This is the most frequent data source, right?
Yeah,
Or SDR is even.
we can speed it up a little bit. I think 23 will be what we can achieve solidly, because we're using a region of interest, and we downsize. We do not take every part from the chip. So let's say we have on the upper and the lower, I think summed up 200 pixel we can get rid of, and about 1,900 in the on the x axis.
Yeah. So
because
around
we're going for 3,600 by 3,600.
Yeah. So we come out square. You go in rectangular and you come out square. Yeah. And because that feed is less, let's say 30% less, kind of.
It depends how huge the surrounding trees or buildings are. If let's say if we mount something in New York and on the highest building, we go for 3,600 by 3,600. And let's say if we're in the Black Forest somewhere where we have very close by some trees, I think it will be less too. So
so you mentioned the masking, right? So
not only the masking. If we can do the masking by just reducing the region of interest, if it's round the masking, or what we would achieve with the masking, we can do it with reducing the region of interest.
Yeah, but the region of interest reduction is mostly rectangular, and though the optic of a fisheye is circular,
No, the region of interest can be it is rectangular, but I have to first let's get it to run, and then we focus on what we can opt out.
Yeah.
But reducing the region of interest gives us more frames that we can handle.
Gives it per se.
Yeah.
And you can tell this to the sensor? Or are you just getting a full frame and then crop it to the size?
No.
You get it. You just take that
I can
part.
tell I can tell the the chip, the sensor, which region I want to read out.
I see. Okay. But you can
This is
only
hardware.
again tell it rectangularly. Rectangularly.
Yeah, close enough.
Don't say the word.
Yes, but I'm not that deep into QHY and ZWO cameras, but I think let's go with the rectangular version first, so we have something running that can be provided, and then go for the optimum and see if we just can take out, if the region of interest can be circular. That would be very, very nice.
That would be nice.
But I have the feeling that might be a problem with the detection software afterwards, because it will need a normal image format. I'm not sure about it.
It
We have
needs
to
a rectangular image anyways. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, neural network algorithms, they are 99% of convolutions are in the form of square.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, go with square. I mean,
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it will simplify everything.
absolutely.
I mean, we would eliminate edge cases for the circle.
Yeah. And if we the parts that are already black or should be black, if we set them to black, we can do that right by right at the moment when we read out the chip. So this is done by hardware too. So
And
yeah.
Can you, for example, do a masking on the chip?
No.
No. Okay, so the masking has been done before or after the indie, before the indie.
Afterwards, the indie stuff is just for controlling the hardware and getting out the data, and then we can do the masking.
Okay.
But we can say that everything that is nearly to black can be can have a zero value. So the black is already black. Normally it's not black. It has static on it and something like that. But we can say, okay, to a certain amount, to a certain threshold, we can say everything beneath the threshold is set to zero.
But that's a feature of the camera. That's
this is a feature of the driver. Yes.
Of the driver of the camera.
Yeah.
But you cannot
this can be done at readout.
Okay, but you cannot tell the driver to use a mask. There's no such feature.
No.
Okay.
But maybe we can write some software afterwards to do that. But I don't think that it's a good idea to bother the hardware, the camera, with masking.
Okay. I just want to get rid of workload.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next point is that this material is now delivered on a WebSocket, and that WebSocket can be picked up by the tracker and the recognition software. That's all running on a different board. That's why the WebSocket, via the Ethernet. And then you also have a part on the ASC, which is an archive management, so that when the master control program, or the Mickey Mouse, as we say before, says now is the time to record that event, because that's an unknown event, then that material is from the WebSocket stored into the NAS. Who is storing it? Is it the master control program storing it? Or is it
the master control program will call the archive management, and the archive management is a program that is running on the Pi separately and using up one CPU core.
But the WebSocket is on the Pi first. Okay, so
yes,
the archive management takes that stream from that WebSocket and stores it in a file on the NAS.
Yes.
In case of, okay, got it.
But then when MCP calls the archive service to tell him to record an event, archive service needs to have some history of the data from all data sources. Because otherwise.
But
so do we pass the data from master control program to the archive service, or archive service will be subscribed to all data sources, and then master control program just says record from there to there and give it a name, this event?
Yes, the archive management is just a program that takes the information that we already stored in the Neo4j database and produces a file out of it and writes it on the hard disk, on the NAS. That's all. The data already is collected in the Neo4j database, and therefore is already connected.
Christian, my question is, when the data is on the WebSocket first, on the Pi, it's live data. It's
yes,
like a UDP packet. There's no one waiting
it's
for a packet.
It's a buffer.
It's a buffer.
It's a buffer.
It's fed in, and what is lost is lost. It's fed.
Yes.
When the event is detected, let's say, from the simple tracker, from the
Yes.
All-Sky camera, and
the event management is called by the master control program and will fill up and will take all the live data and put it as a pre-recording into the database.
In that
this
case,
is
we need a buffer for, let's say, if an event goes on for a minute, for example, we need the buffer somewhere so that we can save a file, and we can save the file only when the event is ended. So all the data before has to be collected.
No. This is the advantage of a graph database, and even and especially Neo4j. With that, you can just say, okay, you have got a guy there. Let's think about it as the old days when you try to tape record some kind of radio program. So the event manager is this guy sitting there in front of the radio, in front of the tape recorder, and waits for the signal of hit the record button.
Okay.
This is the image of the event handler. And the master control program is the one that says, okay, now.
Okay, so I want to run it through so that we're all on the same page. I think I'm not quite on the same page, so that's why I ask those stupid questions.
Yeah, it's still blurry for me too.
Okay, so
this is why I'm going to write. I'm writing the development guide, because then we are on the same page. Okay,
Yes.
but
because then we
for
have
now,
a page.
okay, the master control program is just a guy that is sitting there, and the event manager is listening to the WebSocket. The simple tracker is listening to the WebSocket, and the GUI is listening to the WebSocket. If the simple tracker or any other tracker that is listening to data says, okay, I've got an event. Master control program goes says, okay, now event manager, do a recording. And the event manager is taking from that second on, or maybe a fraction of a second on, what is on the WebSocket and putting it into the Neo4j database.
So I have one issue with this. One is that the simple tracker, no, let's say the All-Sky software can only give you confidence on certain events. Let's say the motion detection after an event comes in, let's say 2 seconds after an event occurs in the view, the simple tracker can say, now I have an event. And now that an event is there, it will be tracked. So we have, let's say, 2 seconds without tracking.
No, we have, because this is already in the buffer stored. We have the buffer will, if I get it right, it will at least 2 minutes to 5 minutes of backup. So
wow, okay. That's buffer size. Okay.
The buffer size I want to reach is at least 2 minutes, but maybe if we are lucky and if we do genius coding, we can increase it to 5 minutes.
I see. My only concern
We need to
was
fail safe. We need to fail safe, and
yeah,
this is a way to go.
I think what is more important is that we get the 10 seconds before and after an event also recorded.
Yes.
Because of course, a tracker, and that's not implicit on our tracker. Any tracker needs a certain couple of frames to detect an object as such. Otherwise, it's
Yeah,
only noise.
we have hysteresis, and this needs at least the last 15 to 20 frames, and that kept me thinking on how huge this buffer should be, and I think 2 minutes is a good time.
Yeah.
Because some of the data is a little bit slow. The images are very fast. Yeah, I think 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes
Should
is
be.
certainly rough
Is this
enough.
buffer in RAM or on flash storage?
In RAM.
In RAM.
It's memory based.
And it will fit 5 minutes or 2 minutes of high resolution images.
It will fit if we take 4 GB. It will fit 5 minutes.
Okay.
Using all of it.
Yeah. But what about other sources like SDR or GPS? Or it will also be the same way. We will have a buffer for each thing that creates data.
Yes, but since we are not there yet, and it will be a subject for next week, and we have to figure out if the Nano will be available since then, or if we have to switch to another board or something like that, we do not have to bother at the moment. If we just run the operating system without any GUI features, without any X server, without any Wayland or something like that, then on the Pi 4 with 8 GB, it consumes less than around 120 to 140 megabytes.
Yeah, I did
So
have
we have
Arch
around
Linux on Raspberry Pi without desktop environments and just the kernel and some drivers, and it is all around 150 megabytes of RAM on idle.
Yes, that's what I got too. So we're on the same page, and around let's give it 20 megabytes or 30 megabytes more, or let's say we spare it for 200 megabytes. It's okay. Then we have around 8 gigabytes left, and I said, okay, how many do we? How huge can the buffer be if we just limit it to 4 gigabytes? I do not know how much will be taken for the SDR part, but for the optical part, GPS, geophone, or what we have for sensors at the moment, 4 gigabyte, 5 minutes. I think this is a lot of data.
Absolutely. So I think
if we just say, okay, if we reduce it to 2 megabytes, then we're on the safe side. And for GPS, I think it's the GPS we coordinate we need once. These are just a couple of bytes, and then we have got the timing signal to get our real-time clock chip running. It just needs one signal. We do not have to track that. What's left? The geophone data. It's not much.
With motion,
couple of kilobytes.
SDR
Motion
can be huge in the future, but it doesn't have to worry us for now.
Yeah, the SDR part we don't look at the moment, and it can have some, let's say, the other 4 gigabyte. But for the All Sky Cam, for the basic material, I think we are good with 4 gigabyte and up to 5 minutes.
For me, it's only important that we can cover the 10 seconds before an event and after an event, if that could be somehow possible.
Yeah, and this is what I'm aiming for, to have not 10 seconds, but 2 minutes, 120 seconds.
Yeah, okay. Let's define this in the future somewhere. I'm already happy with 10 seconds.
Yeah, we can. It is dynamically changed.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
okay. Got it.
You would want a longer track time because assume for a second that we missed the mark. So with the plane or the unknown is coming directly on the edge of our fisheye view, and we pick it up later on in the view as a valid observation, and we start recording it. Yeah. If it is interesting, something we want to examine further, we are going to want to be able to track that all the way back to when it first appeared on our scopes, even if we didn't know it yet.
And
So
since we took the ISS as our benchmark, and it takes at my position, it goes right through the zenith, perfectly right through the zenith, and it takes about 90 seconds from appearance on one horizon to the other. So 2 minutes is what I would suggest is the minimum for.
Wait a second. The 2 minutes, is it this is the size of the buffer? Does that already imply that this is the limit of file size? That all videos or material that only is for 2-minute packages? No, it's just the buffer.
No.
It's just the first 2 minutes. If an event takes for 20 minutes, for example, we can still record it.
No. This is the buffer of the buffer. This is the pre-buffer. This is the fail-safe. If an event is started, then it's writing directly to the database.
Yeah, it's just
and this is just a complete. This is just a complete other part of the memory.
Yeah. No, what I say is these 2 minutes are not the limiting time of our videos, or the events. The events can be 20 minutes.
No.
It's just the first.
The event can be 20 minutes. If it runs out of memory, it's writing directly to the NAS because we use an M.2 SSD with 6 gigahertz per second of data transfer rate. Who cares if we then play it back? If the event takes 20 minutes, then the event is already detected. But those 2 minutes are the backup time for the data to look when the event already started. It may be, let's say 2 minutes ago, and we couldn't detect it further because
but how shall
we had clouds.
Then? How shall we know then? How shall the software know then that there's something happened before an event started? Because the event is something.
It will always take some time from the buffer. Just always assume and.
Yeah, it's then the 2 minutes are in the material always. So 2 minutes before the event is always in the material.
It depends. It depends what sensor triggered the event. Let's say if you can't see something on the all-sky cam, but the geophone hit.
Yeah, then we have an event at the time when the geophone hits.
Yes.
But
and then we need
we have something when no sensor says anything. We cannot say there could be something the 2 minutes before because we would have known in advance. We can just keep that material in the material, that these 2 minutes.
Yes, but we have the possibility to look back at least 2 minutes, and my favorite would be 5.
I think that's a good idea to have that extra bit of video right before the event is detected, because that way the event is occurring before the event is detected. So that way you'll have that recorded already.
And since we reduced the workload on the camera part already, and reduced the amount of size of it, 2 to 5 minutes of backup time, I think we can reach that.
For me, it's way too much, but yeah, it's okay.
If we've got the performance left,
we
can use it.
Why not do it? Absolutely, if it's there. depending on what's left on the processor time, left on the RAMs, we use what is there and store what is there. And we can then, if we get more load on the processor on the Pi or less RAM, then we reduce this buffer size, for example. So we can adjust.
Yeah, but
what am I saying?
we do not have to save the original image in 3600 by 3600 pixel. We won't save that, but only the parts that changed, like having p frames afterwards. The tracker's running only on the part that is alternated.
Yeah, wait a second. When you record this in a file on the NAS, then it will be, let's say, an MKV file, right? A video file.
No.
You want to store single frames, images?
No, a JSON file.
With a video inside?
No, with images inside.
Why not use fits then?
This is what I'm thinking about. Maybe we can use fits.
I see.
And fits we can use fpack to get an archived version of it and to get it very, very small.
How is
But we are not there yet. We do not know what is the better solution. We have to do it afterwards. First, development guide, then getting the images from the camera and running simple tracker. This is on what we have to focus at the moment. And the storage data format we have to think about afterwards. For the first tests, we write as image PNG and fits to the WebSocket. First, we go for PNG. If we are running that very stable, then we add fit support, and the tracker can take the PNG files and do whatever it likes. This is the roadmap we are going at the moment.
Can you say something, or maybe Rebecca and you can say something about the playback performance? So for example, if you have the user interface in front of you and you see a live video compared to an event that is played, and in both cases the material is stored in, for example, JSON files and images. How about the playback performance? Is real-time playback possible? And or is live view possible?
She's muted. There she goes.
I haven't actually looked into that. For the GUI, I had it so that I would be receiving I think it was an MP3 video.
MP4.
Was that
MP4 you mean, or
MKV?
MKV.
MP4, yeah, MP4. Whatever it is that your AI uses, you have the MKV file, which we can't use in the browser. It's not supported in the browser. But your AI software converts it into another format. I think it's, like you were saying, MP4. So the video can be seen in real time in the web browser with the MP4 video.
And what if the socket provides not an MP4 video, but single image frames?
That I don't know. This is having it broken up and fed to me broken up. That's completely new to me right now. So I have no comment at all, really.
Christian, what you say?
Yeah, the thing is, we were thinking of skipping. This is a suggestion of Yannick too, of skipping the video encoding part because it takes time.
Yeah.
And
decoding.
Encoding the video, putting it on the WebSocket, and taking it down and splitting it up into single frames for the tracker, we can avoid it because we have single frames, and why should we encode a video of it if we can just push through the images?
But how about what do you think about the playback rate? If the material is collected, let's say with 20 frames per second, just as an example, would you be able to play back via a WebSocket on a browser front UI in that performance locally?
I would think so.
Hello, Rebecca?
Well, I know that it can receive it frame by frame. It's just how to display it in the GUI would have to be. I'd have to look into that. I'm
Maybe
really not
just
familiar.
put just a big image tag in HTML, and when you receive a new frame and event is dispatched, you can handle it by injecting new image from the socket to the image source attribute.
So basically constantly updating each image as it comes in.
I mean, you're working with React on the GUI, right?
No, not right now, no.
But that's the idea, for it to be React application, single page application in React.
In some portions, yeah, if it's necessary, which it might be with this video, if that's how you want to do it, where you just want to update it.
I'm for everything or nothing.
Yeah, you don't need to use React on everything. React is, more for real-time updating, like Facebook, and not everything uses that. So
But
you
this
can
is
use.
my idea. You can update state frequently in React, and you can re-render the DOM document, HTML
Yeah,
page.
you can.
frequently.
You don't need React on the entire site.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, so my question is still not answered in my way I'd like to have it. Will it be possible to play 3000 by 3600 in square format, let's say PNG files, via WebSocket on an Ethernet locally in real time with 20 frames per second? Has anyone ever done that?
I think it will be in that way problematic that 4K displays are not that spread out.
Yeah, but the web browser
normally.
will handle that. I mean, we
The
can set.
resizing.
Yeah, we just specify the size, how many area we want to use on our screen in our application, and then browser will automatically resize and do whatever you want to fit the image in the container that you provide to him.
Yeah, but still you want to zoom and pan, so you need the full frame.
So yeah, you will have full frame, you will receive full frame, and you will have it somewhere in memory, but on representation layer it will be rendered whatever size you want. I mean, you can put 4K image in a centimeter by centimeter and it will look like shit, but it will be there in entirety.
Right now, what I have though, because we're on a deadline, right? We have what?
8 weeks.
You're saying 8 weeks, but are you saying the beginning, like September 1st or September 30th?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
8 weeks from now.
8 weeks. Well, I was thinking at least go with what I have right now, where you can accept the MP4 video. It's done. It's got the camera where you can fast forward. You can do the simulated frames, 1/30th of a second, 1/20th of a second, that sort of thing. So, I mean, we have that. Is there any way we can at least get the MP4 feed?
We can write a service that is encoding the video on the machine that is connected to the Pi.
Maybe Archive service can do that. Like, okay,
Yes.
archive this event. He has list of frames in the form of images, and then assemble video from it, give it a name, put it on a disk, register it in Neo, and then front end or the GUI will know to look for the path of that file, assembled file.
But it won't be real time.
Yeah,
won't
it
be
will be. Yeah.
It'll be what, delayed by a few seconds?
I guess I don't know. But yeah, we need to assemble it.
But then that way we could have that done while we work, for future updates to create it. So that way we receive it frame by frame and show it in the GUI instead. You see what I'm saying? So that way we have that, we have it, let's use it, and then upgrade it when we're ready to it in a timely fashion and work well done.
Yeah, sounds good to me. So we need an intermediate, something that makes an MP4 from images on the archive management.
But wasn't your AI software already doing that?
The tracker, no. The tracker gets a video stream, splits it up into single images, and works on the single images. This, because of that, we were thinking of skipping the video encoding part, because we can feed the incoming images to the tracker right away.
I see. I just remembered in one of the previous meetings, and maybe it was Mike G was saying that he was using MP4, so that's why.
Yeah, he's using MP4, but with OpenCV, he's going frame by frame through it. And then he's doing processing image by image, actually.
So what the simple tracker is doing is getting the MKV file for now and going frame by frame. But the thing is, it has to have the full frame video in order to decompress it. And yeah, for now, that's the current version. And the idea from Christian is to work on images per se and not to lose process power on all ends for in and decoding. So and my question is whether we can make a responsive user interface when we work only with images and not videos. So the images are 3600 in square and we provide them via a WebSocket. The question is how performance-wise how real-time is the playback?
Does the simple tracker only work on MKV? You sure?
From what I understood previously, it converted MKV files into the MP4 files and worked off of the MP4 files. So I was under the impression that we were going to be using those MP4 files to stream to the GUI.
It's true. He creates MP4 files, but these are
guys. Wonder no more. I just found the solution.
Okay.
To refresh images real fast, and it's really performant. I'm getting epilepsy by looking at it again. I can share I will share on Discord in software dev.
Yeah.
Richard, real quick though, I just wanted to point out that my the security software I'm using only records in MP3, so all my videos are MP4. All my videos are MP4, not MKV.
Yeah,
So,
but this is training material. This is a total different story.
okay, just
Do you share your screen, Nicola, or are you posting something?
Oh, I'm posting. I'm posting something. Yeah.
Where?
On software dev channel.
Okay.
But I can also share the screen.
If you, because I record, so I would prefer.
Oh yeah. Okay. Where is oops? Share screen. Share screen.
that's at the bottom. I mean,
Go live. Do you guys see something?
Yeah.
Do you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. It flickers so hard. Here is on 1 hertz. And now we can. There is some load, but because it's fetching from the. I can try 1 millisecond. It will. There is.
What size are those images?
I don't know.
Yeah, make them 3600.
There. Do you have link for some of these images. I can open that.
I
I will check what's the size of this image. Whoopsie.
I can give you images of size.
Yeah, I mean, I would need to do this off video. This is online example on some website, but I guess it can. Yeah, they're real big. I mean, they're 2K by 2K at least.
Yeah.
2000 by 2000?
They are high res. I can see the fur.
Okay.
2K by 2K is nice. So I
2000
think
by
we
2000.
won't have a problem. I don't think we have a problem with that. And we can have a process that produces a video stream on the connected machine where the web GUI is running on. So if the web GUI machine is providing the video for itself, we do not have any workload on the
station itself.
Yeah, on the station itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, where's the workload for the local computer if it gets only images from a WebSocket?
If you open the GUI from your mobile phone, there your mobile phone will be converting images to videos. If you open it on your gaming setup, then it will be even faster.
So you mean it's live? I get a stream of images via WebSocket, and then somehow with magic it converts it into an MP4 and plays that back?
No, the WebSocket is doing anything. The connection, the connecting machine, let's say a phone, a tablet, a computer,
A live feed is always
is running the
connected.
WebSocket. Yeah, the live feed, but and it's just picking up the data from the WebSocket, and the WebSocket doesn't providing anything other than the images and maybe the peripheral data from geophone or moving
Yeah,
or
that's okay.
sound.
But then you need a real-time playback in the user interface.
Yes, and this has to run on the machine because we do not have that much performance left on the Pi that the Pi could produce the video stream. It has to be done on the device that is showing it.
So how shall the device produce a video stream from a live video? Ongoing?
Yeah, Nicola showed us a way of using React to do that.
No, this was just showing image after the image real fast.
Okay.
It was
Image
not
after
conversion.
Just like a
Yeah.
cartoon.
It's not
But it's
creating
the
a
It's
same
kind of
effect.
it's just showing frame by frame like a cartoon in real time. But
Yeah.
then you'd also have to save it. You'd have to save it so that way people can play it and then
But for
rewind
that,
it.
we don't need to do that real time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to do that by September because I work far too many hours, and this last minute change is kind of actually quite disruptive.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be able to do that. I have what I have.
Rebecca, the recording part does not has to be finished till then. Only the part where we can run the simple tracker with input images has to be ready till the end of September. The recording part, let's say Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, and don't forget, we are enthusiasts here. We don't earn money with it. We do it just for fun. So if things don't go as planned, screw the deadline.
True. And it's fun. It's fun. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, basically that's true, Christian. But we are sitting here and discussing things and taking the chance to discuss things in advance before we hit a barrier or a wall.
Yeah.
And yeah, my point is we should take care of having a responsive interface. So it should be able to handle live views and also playback from events. And basically, I do like the idea of only handling images. I basically do not need a video. What for? A sequence of images is the same, even better, because no compression, no and decoding, blah, 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 was going on. So we are lossless as possible.
Yes.
The only thing is we have to provide somehow a video feed to the WebSocket. Nicola, you were working with Rebecca the last couple of days or weeks about a WebSocket that she can use as for the UI to test the playback. Did you? Or am I
Yeah,
wrong
I
here?
was.
Okay.
Yeah, I was doing something like that. I actually never got to the WebSocket. That's the next thing. But I made some things to set up the station, to create a user that is the owner of the station, to provide geo coordinates, and to put some security in it. And next thing is to create like fake data generator to generate maybe PNGs with white noise, just to have some hardly compressible data to push through the socket to see real world representation. I mean, because full empty PNG or JPEG is way smaller than filled with white noise. This was my idea, to create some data generator. I think I can do it in an hour and push the code, because that's waiting for me 2 days.
All right. So yeah, and you were in contact with Rebecca, so
Actually, no, because I didn't want. I mentioned it on the last meeting that I will create like some fake station with fake socket, and since then I was doing it in silence on vacation. But yeah, I mentioned it last night on general, and yeah, I guess tonight I can finish it, push it on my Git. It'll be open. Everyone can clone, everyone can add it, and subscribe the socket and consume white noise in the form of PNGs or JPEGs.
would that help, Rebecca? Would it help your work?
Well, I'm not sure.
What we were
I
talking
mean,
about? Okay.
I'm receiving PNGs of white noise, or is this to simulate the stream from the camera of the frames
Yeah,
of
that's
pictures?
the idea. Basically, you treat it as socket that provides data that was captured by all SkyCam.
A simulated
Just
data.
to have at least some API defined between the station and the GUI, because right now we are kind of working in blind. I don't know. So this was my idea with this software, to create let's say fake API that has mock data, and later on, as we connect modules, can replace fake data with real data.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
That
Well,
was the idea.
one of my issues was if it's containerized, because I think you had it in a Docker container.
You can
Then
run
it's
it on your host also. You don't need to run it via Docker. But it's simpler.
will I be able to get the data from the URL?
There is a GraphQL API which has few endpoints. One of them is to set up the station, to register user and coordinates, and this will initialize the fake station and create representation for all SkyCam, and it will start providing the WebSocket with fake frames full of white noise. That was the idea.
So I can use my GUI on localhost to grab information from the containerized Docker app.
Yeah, you can expose because Docker is just a layer between your application and your kernel, and it maps processes, networks, and file systems. Like hides the host stuff from your application, but you can remove this layer, and network will be fully exposed.
So I can grab it, make a request to the URL?
Yeah, just to the local host, some port, I think it's 3000, and you can
Uh-huh.
talk with GraphQL. And you should use Apollo client, Apollo GraphQL client for it, because it is based on Apollo server.
See, I mean, this is quite a learning curve. I do work many hours a week. This is quite a bit to throw at me. It'd be easier if it were simplified without all of the
We can find
abstractions such as Apollo and GraphQL. Just, hey, send it over frame by frame, pick it up
it
in
will be
React.
frame by frame in a socket, but JSON communication will be via GraphQL because it
Can it be
plays
without
nice
it?
with
Can
Neo.
it be simplified?
Can you repeat? Sorry, I didn't
What
hear.
I would suggest, and to save time,
Yeah.
because I work like 50, 60 hours a week, okay? What I suggest is you download my GUI and you integrate that into the GUI. Since you're already familiar with GraphQL and Apollo,
But you're
just
using setup on Django and REST. It's not really
but
that plug and
well,
play.
you don't have. You can request anything from Django via REST, JSON. You can request anything any which way. So Django is actually more of a back-end situation. You can throw in whatever JavaScript you want in there and do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Because you're familiar with Apollo, you're familiar with GraphQL, you're familiar with all of that. Because I do have limited time. I can't just say, okay, it's.
Yeah. You can deep dive now in Apollo, for example. Yeah. Get
Yeah, I mean, sorry, Nikolai, but when I saw your post, I started hyperventilating. My blood pressure went up. I said, oh my
Oh
God.
dear.
yeah, it
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. So it makes it easier for
It
you.
happens.
Yeah.
So, Nicola, as Rebecca asked, could you provide that for her to integrate what you just said into the GUI on GitHub? Is that possible in some way?
I guess I could create some fake data generator embedded into the GUI itself.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
I didn't actually. She said it's React, right?
It's in the Sky 360. It's the link that says it's the repo that says UI.
Oh, UI.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
And you'll find out.
I'm on repo. I see GUI but not UI.
Okay, then I'll make it visible, and then just go there, and you'll see most of the JavaScript will be in the views page. I'll send you the link where most of the JavaScript is.
Okay, I will take a look.
Okay.
Super. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I think it's important to have that discussion at that point because, yeah, somehow you have to get data and it has to play back nicely. So, yeah. All right. Is there anything on your sides, guys, that we should discuss in that context? Otherwise, we jump to a totally different topic.
I have to leave in about 13 minutes. So I will be gone around
Okay.
1:30.
All right. So, Tommy, we wanted to ask you. Tommy, are you there? There he is. Oh, you're already sleeping. Did we annoy you that much?
I'm not asleep now.
So that's a wake-up call. Tommy, we were talking shortly about cameras, and we checked with our tax office, and because of our status as an NGO, we only allowed to sell material that we produce ourselves to our own members to keep their status. Meaning,
Yep.
we cannot put a market product like a camera on our store because that would
Sure.
immediately imply that we lose our status with the tax office.
Yep.
So now my question to you, we are, Christian, please correct me if I'm wrong. We're settled with the QHY 183 camera for now. We're still testing optics, but the camera is settled, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in order to procure that camera for our members, we have several options. Either someone offers it via his own store. For example, if you have run your store and you're off it, and then we link it in our created list so that people can directly point to the product. Yeah, there's actually no other way around. The other option is no option. Forget it about. There's only one option. So, Christian,
Yeah.
to inform you, Lutz, we cannot take his product into our web store because that would kick our NGO status, our
Yeah,
tech
but
status.
we can say on our website that if you want to buy the camera, look there, and
Look where?
at Teleoptik. You can
Okay.
order from Teleoptik directly.
So you said once there's no stock, there's no shop. Now you say there's a shop.
There is no online web shop. Yes, but
But
you
can
can
send an
write an
email.
email
I see.
and buy it like this, or just take the phone, or
Okay. So in that case, we can provide an email in our curated list. So someone wants to buy, sends an email to, for example, Lutz.
or just say, okay, go to the website and look it up, and then
Send
I
an
think
email.
there will be some kind of buying mechanism, but it's not a web shop yet.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, Tommy, question to you: do you see any chance for getting this camera into your portfolio?
Yeah.
Really?
They said they could. All I had to do was tell them whether I wanted 50 or 100 at a time. They won't do it less than 50.
50 is
So I have
minimum.
to at least do 50, which is what I was expecting we would need until we
Whoa.
really ramped up.
Wow. Yeah. So point is, we cannot pre-finance 50, of course. We only can do
No,
collect orders that we say how many people are ordering that camera.
I got it. I got it. It's all in control. Don't worry about it. I do this all day long. This is what I
But
do. I buy stuff, I put it on the shelf, and wait for
yeah,
people to buy it.
but in that case, you would buy 50 cameras.
Yeah, that exactly. I mean, it's all, we're all in it together, so it
Yeah,
is
but
what it
it costs
is.
40,000
Um,
bucks, for example.
But
Um,
what you can do is go to the local astronomy clubs, go to associations that is concerned with astronomy, and say,
Yeah.
okay, we have that in our program. If you want to buy, buy. We
Yeah.
get something
Das
in
ist
and something out.
Klinkenputzen. Das ist Klinkenputzen.
Right.
No, it's just to insert your own company into a different market.
Yeah,
So let's say you announce at Cloudy Nights that you have at your shop cameras available.
right. Exactly. And the difference is that I'll have them in stock because I'm finding these guys are not selling to individual mom and pop shops. They're only right now they're only building for large quantities.
Yeah.
So all these other guys are having to go to the other people to buy them now. So there's very few people with them in stock, I guess is the best way to say it. So that'll help. And then the other thing is I'm not looking to make any money off of it. I make money elsewhere. So the savings will be passed back to the community. So it will be advantageous for them to buy it from us as opposed to going elsewhere to try and source it.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can provide this to us, this is invaluable help. Absolutely. But
Yeah.
But still, it's an investment from your side.
I mean, it is what it is, but it's not a problem. I wouldn't do it if I couldn't afford it. Trust me.
Okay.
That's generous, yes.
I just wanted to ask you 3 times.
Yeah. So you don't hate
And
us
get it
later.
on recording. Yeah,
I get it
get
on
it
recording,
recorded.
right? Yeah. So point
Yeah.
is, you can start as soon as you want because we are settled with the camera, right, Christian?
So that was the next question is, it's going to take them 4 weeks to come up with 50 cameras or 100, whatever I want.
How
I'm going to
long?
start out with 50.
How long does it take?
4
4
weeks.
weeks.
4 weeks. 4 weeks is great. Today, 4 weeks is like yesterday.
Is okay. So go ahead and order them now, is what you're saying.
Bread?
Don't wait another 30 days.
Since we said that we tried to make a deadline to the end of September, wait another 30 days.
Or 2 weeks?
Yeah. Wait 4 weeks so that
3
it all
weeks.
falls together at the end of September.
Yeah, I mean, wanted to make the deadline, but I didn't. I expected this to be like purchased along the same plan that we've been going on, where it's an individual sourcing material, not Tommy spending 40 grand to buy a truckload of cameras. It changes the math in my head a little bit. I mean, or not really the math, but my feeling about it. I would normally say, hell yeah, go for it, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, especially if it's not our money, isn't it?
exactly.
I don't know. I
But
don't
Tommy,
know how Lutz got his seller to accept that he can order each camera individually. I do not know how he got that running.
It might be because of his website, his reputation, what he does.
No,
he's-
it's a completely new connection. We handled handled it some weeks ago. He just talked to the guy and he got it running.
interesting. Must have a big stock.
Yeah, the guy from whom we get the cameras is the reseller for the whole European market.
Well, they said
So-
they would sell me fewer ones, but not at the discount that they were offering me. I get the greater discount at 50 and 100.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, one that's substantial enough that I can pass it on to the end user.
Yeah.
So,
So
but Tommy, you see how concerned we are about this.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we
I
gotta
would
figure
almost,
We don't want
out.
to make a mistake and want to run you into a corner where you get issues. You
No.
know?
Well, there's that. The other saving grace to that is that I'm getting it discounted like a reseller. So if this were to fall through, I could still put it on the web on Amazon and sell them cheaper than the guys in the retail store
True.
and sell them overnight
True.
because I got them in stock and they're cheaper. So I'm not worried about it at all. This is a very good brand and a good model to put your money behind. If this was some off brand, something that I had to go push, it'd be a little different. But
Yeah.
this is going to be easy, no way, either way around it.
so long as you've got, speaking in terms of liquidity, as long as you've got liquidity, you can move them. I mean, that makes me feel a lot better. I'm confident in that. I would still leery about it, but I mean, that makes me feel better.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
In the astronomical community, the amateurs they got to know that QHY ran off ZWO a bit, and they are offering the better cameras. And at the moment, there's here in Europe and especially in Germany, there's a run on QHY cameras.
Really?
And I think the astronomical community in the US will have the same amount of cameras to sell, and I think it's a second possibility to have a market.
Yeah. Plus, people buying from Europe into the U.S. get a 5% discount automatically. So it's that's the way they look at it, at least.
Wait. Where do you get 5 automatically from whom?
Because the exchange rate.
The exchange rate. Okay.
But it really don't, because by the time you pay for shipping and duty taxes, it just eats it back up.
Yeah.
True.
but it's fun to think so.
So there's another topic, Tommy. Two attacks on you today. The other one is we've spoken 2 days before about Jetson boards, electronics.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Brad found out that NVIDIA is not supporting dev kits anymore, and
Okay, sorry to interrupt. I'll be going, and I'll watch the rest of the recorded session today afterwards.
perfect. Then we
Okay.
can talk bad things about you.
Have a nice Sunday. Yeah.
It's recorded, Richard.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I,
Now we can talk.
so the NVIDIA is okay. They're not producing the dev kits right now because they're prioritizing for the modules so people can get them to consumers, right? NVIDIA is going to support each Jetson module for its full 5-year life cycle. They're committed to that. And when they give the end of life date, which for the Nano is in 2024, they're actually guaranteeing another 8 months of production beyond that. So that puts the Nano out into 2025. But the catch is they will not. They never did, never will. So we'll just take it off the table. They will not put that guarantee on the dev kit version. So they could flip the switch and turn it off anytime. And that counts for the AGX, the NX, whatever dev kit there is. They don't want people using them for production. So we could still use them because they'll still be available kind of, sort of, on secondary markets like eBay or whatnot. You can still use them in the builds. Yeah. But then we have to start entertaining the individual modules, and there's a huge variety because it's the Nano on some sort of carrier board for a specific function, and we just have to go through that huge list of them, check what we need, is it feasible to get it, how expensive are they, and then work out the finer details like how do you mount it in the
Brett,
enclosure.
there's one detail you missed, is that you can now buy parts. You can buy carrier boards from certain manufacturers. You can buy the module, the chip. They call it the module, but it's just a chip, separately. Yeah. And the thing is, who is now assembling them? So there are companies assembling that stuff. What they do is they make a little box, they put the carrier board in, they put the module on it, they make even the heatsink in it and maybe a little fan on it. And then it's a new product. We don't need that. We only need a carrier board and the module, the Nano or whatever comes on it.
So what you just described was what NVIDIA calls on their list of like approved providers, the approved vendors for that thing, the carrier boards, and then the full system. You just described a full system, but you're right, there is a route where you just buy a carrier board and then the module, almost like a memory. It looks almost like a memory DIMM. You slap it in and then you configure it however you want it. I'm not super concrete on how that works. Where you buy those things, how much they cost.
What about Meanwell? Meanwell is a Chinese manufacturer of power supplies, but they also make those modules.
Really?
And you just have to, they make anything you want. So it's just a matter of, they're one of those companies that I would reach out to and ask them the same question. How much can you make these for us? And
why do I get the feeling that this is going to result in like us getting a truckload?
From China.
Yeah.
Some of them, I don't know. I just bought some power supplies. What did I get? I got 100 of them. You can buy 50, but you don't have to always buy like 250 or 500 or something like that. The reason why I do is because the cameras that we sell, you need one per camera. And if we sell like, 200 to NFL, well, there's 200 power supplies. So, other than that, I've had quotes of 50, before. So I'm pretty sure I can get one for these.
Is an electronics supplier. Do they really produce NVIDIA certified
Well,
motherboards?
I don't know if it's NVIDIA. I was just pointing out that They make all different types of power supplies.
Yeah, but we're not talking about a power supply here.
What did you say it was?
Okay. I restart. We're talking about the processing board, the Jetson
Oh, okay.
Nano board, the
Oh,
the
got it.
motherboards,
Got it.
the electronic
Yeah,
boards.
the Nano is like a complex chip on its own motherboard, which is the carrier board, and that has all the USBs, the Ethernet power supply connection. That's what we consider the carrier board. And then NVIDIA
So-
supplies the Nano itself, I think.
Yeah, I would probably. I mean, I can talk to my son, who's a sales engineer at TI, and ask him if what who he recommends. They've got lots of distributors, or well, some people call them system integrators, where they just take parts and they put them together and make products.
Yeah, NVIDIA has a list on their. Let me get to their site. It's buried on there. They you can scroll through a list of like they're what they call approved providers.
Can you post a link to the list?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let me see that.
let me find it. Actually, here is the Nano. I'm just gonna throw this in general, really quick. Or wait, how should I do this? Let me just share my screen.
Yeah.
I got too many freaking screens. There we go. All right. Can you see that?
We see ourselves.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. Echo.
There we go.
Echo.
That's the Nano module
Right.
itself.
It's still a video echo.
Okay, we're just gonna stop that.
Oh.
What was it?
I don't know what's going on there.
So can you post
That
the
was
link?
cool.
Yeah, I'll post a link.
All right. Where did you post the link?
Hold on.
Okay.
Going too fast for me.
Really? Hey, guys, can you listen? He said that I'm going too fast for him. Thank you that I hear that once.
Oh, yeah.
I'm too fast.
All right, I'm putting this in general. I got like 6 computers going here at once.
Yeah, you're always the one on 300%.
Using.
I know. That's why it's so funny that you say that.
Yes.
There we go. That's the module, at least.
Where did you
So,
post it?
in general.
In general, in the chat here or in the channel?
What channel?
In the channel. Okay. I see.
Okay.
Let me find, and you keep talking amongst yourselves. I'll find where they've got the list of providers somewhere. Partners. There we go. Partner products.
So, is there a competing brand to this product, or can we? Do we only find NVIDIA? Look for NVIDIA.
Well, it depends, and we don't have CUDA support enabled yet, but NVIDIA offers CUDA as an option, and I guess if you could get it to work, that would be fantastic. I mean, that's like you go from what 6 cores on an Xavier to like 300 some odd cores capable of processing images, if you can get it to work, which we currently can't.
Yeah, I see the developer kit that you're looking at with the heatsink.
I say we go for NVIDIA as an only option, because if we decide later on to move to x86 platform, we can all still use NVIDIA GPUs, and our code will be compatible.
So the module, the chip, has to be from NVIDIA, but the board can be from a brand, right?
Okay. That's my understanding. I don't know who sells NVIDIA stuff, if we get it directly from them or what.
So that you mean that the brand is then a reseller?
Well, I just don't know who supplies the module. I mean, I know there's aftermarket people, the resellers do the carrier boards. And I just posted a link to NVIDIA's embedded partner.
Guys, I
list.
just posted a link for some of the from one example of the carrier boards. It's from you can directly buy it from Mouser or whatever. There's
I
plenty of
guarantee you
those.
this is DigiKey as well.
Where did you
Yeah,
post
yeah.
it, Matti?
In general,
In
and
general.
also with the chat of this
Ah, I see.
Well-
Mouser.
discussion.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's actually not that bad. $140.
yeah.
They've got Arrow, Amazon, Allied Electronics. That's one of our resellers. Newegg. So they got quite a few people that are reselling.
Yeah, this is
that.
just for like a 1 minute Google search. So I guess there's plenty of different
Yeah.
options.
It's,
Yeah.
Yeah, and the boards get really varied. I just scrolled through a couple of them, and they've got all different kinds of configurations, different mountings. Some of them had multiple like Ethernet connections. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy things. We just have to go through and.
So the task is now to find the right supplier, to find the right product.
All right.
And the question is, can we get a sample so that we can assemble that sample and see whether it fits our needs?
Yeah. Let me reach out to them directly and find out, because I can see that. Why is this one? I can see that. I mean, just look. I guess we want the developer's kit, right? Preferably, or no?
No, because they are not
Okay.
available anymore. Mostly.
Don't rush, guys. You know, we have to specify what
Well,
the
hold on.
specs are. You know, what balls we will need because there's plenty of different options.
So the question is it no longer available because nobody's buying it, or because no demand, or is it because they can't get parts for it?
Right.
Well,
Last.
so
They
it's
don't
not.
want to. They don't want to sell the development boards. They want to sell their, you know,
Oh,
that
Product.
got it.
own
Exactly.
product.
Productive.
I got it.
Because there's a third party guys who will make the carrier boards because they don't want to sell it as a final product. They will
And
sell
even
their
if
old card.
even if they do keep producing the dev kit, we don't want to get that close to it. I mean, we don't want to specify the station around just that one particular board configuration because it could just disappear. I mean, people are still going to use it in their builds because if they can find them, but we need to be more flexible and you got to work with these modules.
Especially at only $140. If it were like $1,000, you could convince a manufacturer to hold on for, one more order because it's always 50 or 100. But when you're talking about only $100 product, you're going to need to make 1,000 of these to make it worthwhile for them, to make it worthwhile to them.
That's the outstanding question. This is $140, but how much is the nano that goes in it, and where do we get it?
Yeah,
Because every time I search or try to find the nano module,
that's even cheaper.
I haven't found any yet. So.
Okay, well, let me put my feelers out. I've got somebody at DigiKey, and I don't know. I'll ask the guys at Mouser. I don't know if they would have something like that, more so than DigiKey. But I'll also ask my son because he deals with these guys. See if he's got another source that I can go to.
Yeah, and
Here's one at.
if you can ask
Sorry,
this source for a sample, that would be very great. We can return that sample. It's just for getting measures and testing.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Well, just buy one of these. It's like $100 or so.
Yes,
They will ship it in a few days.
Yes, of course, Matti. We bought a lot of hardware. It's lying around now. So I first ask industry to provide a sample, and if they say no, we do not provide samples, then we buy one. You know what I mean? We have a lot of stuff lying around that we cannot use anymore. So I do not want to waste money on new things. So to get a sample would be great.
It's interesting that they only have one person listed as you can buy it from for the Jetson Nano, but the developers kit there's like 8 of them. I find that really interesting. I mean, I don't
Also,
know really what that means.
I just got excited because I searched just looking for places to buy just the module, and DigiKey came up with the first hit, and it was like 503 modules in stock. Then you read the
Oh.
detail, and it's the TX. It's-
Now, so we only
So it has
use
an 8
we
lead
only
time.
can use the Nano, the NX, the HEX, and probably in the
And
future
we're trying to,
the Orins.
but for now, we've agreed to just focus development around the Nano and
Right.
not talk about the NX or
No,
AGX
we
at this
make
point.
the software running on the Nano, and we can scale up if we go on higher platforms. So it should scale within the software. More process power, better event detection, for example. Okay, Tommy.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for picking that up. If you can help us in this case, would be very valuable
Yeah.
too. You become
No
our
problem.
hardware go-to guy.
What I do.
Yeah. So we have 50 minutes left to the hour, and I want to take the opportunity either to ask you any other topics you want to raise. Otherwise, I'd say we can discuss about Bojan's questions about software and SDR equipment. So any other question around this topic that we had up to now? All right, then we skip over. So, Bojan, are you there? Okay, Bojan is not there. Okay, I repeat what Bojan's topic
Oh, there he
is.
is.
Um, he uses the no-elect devices, right?
All right,
And
Richard, can you hear Boyan?
he talks. I cannot hear him. Okay, so I step out and come back in.
I hear you.
Bojan, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you are. Okay, got you.
Are you hear me?
Yes. Oh no,
We hear you.
Now is Matti out. Actually, I wanted to raise the topic of Bojan when Matti is around. Oh, that's a pity. Okay. Yeah, so in the case Bojan, Matti just went out in this second. You have to contact him directly on Discord or on
Okay.
Signal. I wanted
On
to raise the
Signal, no
topic
problem.
now, but yeah, he left at that second in the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do it on Signal or on Discord.
Okay, no problem.
All right, guys. On that note, we wrap it up. Anyone, any contribution, anything we have to think about, take care of? If not, then I'd say I shut down recording.
Okay.
Thank you and goodbye, listeners.